Welcome to the Coaching Central channel where we talk all things coaching, hospitality, and business psychology. One look, and I breathe. Hi guys, welcome back to the Brown Coach podcast. Today on episode 2, we're going to be talking about job dissatisfaction. Why are so many people unhappy with their jobs? According to CNBC, job unhappiness is at a staggering all high. And why is this so? Regardless of the threat of a recession, the economy is slowing down, a lot of people are leaving their jobs. And I believe, when we had COVID, a lot of people were woke, got woke, and realized with working from home, I am actually happy with my job working from home and not going to a physical location. Or I'm unhappy with my job and I am leaving. A lot of people left their job due to maybe frustration of what was going on, or just the realization that I've just been going to a job that I did not like. And I believe one of the key reasons for this increase in job dissatisfaction is that people look at their job as a means to an end. So I wish somebody actually gave me this insight when I started out, as a young person in the working world. Some people have not, realized what makes them happy, and they have not pursued their passion when it comes to what the type of job that they want to work. So a lot of people use their job as a means to an end because the overall goal is to make money, is to provide for your family, is to sustain yourself. So they're showing up to the job because the job pays and covers their bills or help them to achieve their goals that they're working towards. But they really do not love what they do. And it's a sad situation to wake up not happy or excited to go to your job, or not happy with what you're doing. Do what you love. If you are in a job and you are unhappy, I want to tell you it's time to wake up. It's time to really sit yourself down and ask yourself this question: do my job make me happy? Am I happy? Am I excited to get out the door, to show up to my job? And, what is it that I want in this life? What are my goals? What are my passion? What gives me the drive? What makes me feel accomplished? What makes me feel happy, sorry. And go after it. Because a lot of us are stuck in jobs and we are stressed. We, are unhappy, and we feel as if like the world is coming down on us, when really it's as simple as finding out what you love and doing what you love. I've heard the story of this guy whose parents wanted him to be a doctor, and he went to school, did his, everything to become a doctor. And then he gave the certifications to his parents. And then he said, now that I've accomplished what you wanted, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, we waste a lot of time staying in jobs that we don't love, that does not make us feel accomplished or complete. And sadly, it takes us a lot of years to kind of figure out what it is that we want to do in this life. And some of us, it takes years for us to go into, what we really love. And so this is something that is very, we have seen an increase in a lot of people getting angry. It's really a pressing issue in our community because we've seen a lot of people get angry and cuss out their bosses and have a whole meltdown and breakdown on their job due to these things. And I think COVID was a very good eye opening for a lot of us because it made us realize maybe the job environment is why I'm unhappy. Maybe it's best when I'm working at home, I can set my own pace, I'm in my own environment. Or maybe the job itself is not a good fit for me. I'm doing nursing, but I actually don't love nursing. My passion was to be a chef. So COVID, it birthed a lot of new business. A lot of people were able to start up their business by being home or laid off. A lot of people were able to go back to school for what they love. And, a lot of people were able to figure out like their job is one of the main stressors in their life. So, how can we deal with this? How can we, get over job dissatisfaction or kind of prevent it in a way? Some things I think we can practice in getting over job dissatisfaction is actually going after what we want, knowing what it is that we want to do, and going after that. Not looking at a job as a means to an end, but looking at a job as, does this make me happy? How does this fit in with my life? And so instead of getting frustrated and venting, blowing up on the job, choose a better way to deal with it by actually talking to your family, talking to your friends about it. And you have to be careful who you vent to, because I learned the hard way venting to people on the job. Like, I'm unhappy. This was when I was younger, by the way, and naive. I'm unhappy. I really don't like what I'm doing. And those same people will take that and use it against you. So talk to people that you trust, the people that are in your lives that want the best for you and can help you to navigate, your path. It's okay to be unhappy in a job and to realize that you're unhappy. The best step to having that change and that breakthrough is actually realizing what's taking place. So you've realized that you're unhappy. What are you going to do about it? So there are life coaches, there are career coaches, there are people out there, psychiatrists, psychologists, people that you can talk to, therapists, to help you get a better perspective in what it is that you want and how you can get there. If you are feeling depressed because being in a job that makes you that you're not happy with can make you feel depressed. And if you're feeling depressed and overwhelmed, it's best to talk to somebody, because you're only going to take that feeling, that emotion out on somebody else if it's not addressed. So if you're feeling unexcited and if you feel like this job is not making you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose in life, then get a journal and start write down your goals. think about what it is that I want to progress towards. What do I want to work towards as it relates to my career? What is going to make what is going to be fulfilling? What is going to make me feel like I'm accomplishing something in this life? Write those goals down and then write how you can achieve those goals, what steps you can take to achieve those goals. Also, make a list of the things that are standing in your way of achieving those goals. So, how can you navigate around those obstacles? And then hold yourself accountable. Set a deadline as to when you want to step into your that job that you feel is going to make you feel fulfilled. Give yourself a time frame, whether it is you have to go back to school to learn a new skill or to actually educate yourself to go into that career path. If you're going to transition into a new career, if you're going to stay within the field but transition to a new job within the same field, like think about all those things that it is that you want to do. Write them down and hold yourself accountable to being committed and to actually taking the steps to achieve this goal. So a lot of times people get stuck in the loop of complaining. Oh, I'm unhappy with my job. I'm unhappy with my job. Well, what are you going to do about it? What steps are you going to take to overcome being unhappy with your job? And you really need to sit down and have that conversation with yourself. Am I, the problem? Because you can move from one job to the next feeling unhappy. So if you feel like my manager is can't deal with my manager, I can't deal with my supervisor, I can't deal with my coworkers, and you go to a next job and I can't deal with my managers, I can't deal with my supervisors, you have to now reflect. Is it the managers? Is it the supervisors? Because this is now a pattern. I'm moving from job to job, but I'm not feeling fulfilled. What do I need to do to get to the step of feeling fulfilled? So figure out what the problem is that's causing you to feel unhappy. Figure that out first before just jump into another job. Because you're always going to face problems. You're always going to have challenges. You're always going to deal with people with different personalities. So just jumping from job to job doesn't help. Figure out what the root of the problem is. And pay attention to what you enjoy the most. What task, what goals make you feel as if, you're getting somewhere. What do you enjoy doing the most? Talk to people, who are in the field that you would like to get into. So if it is that you want to be a nurse or a doctor, or you want to work in the hospitality field and be a front desk agent, talk to people who are already in the field. That is going to give you the motivation. That's going to give you background information. That is going to help you to take the strides, getting inside insight on the job that you're interested in. If you have a counselor in HR, or if HR provides counseling, take the counseling and be honest with yourself and with your counselor. Discuss the issues and how you can get past those issues. So if you feel as if you need to do more training, you're feeling unhappy because you're stuck doing the same things over and you want to be challenged, Figure out if you need more training or if you need more self-development or more development on the job, or if it is that you're unhappy with the job, period. Um, once you've identified the problems that's causing you to be unhappy and you've addressed them, then, that is taking the right steps to preventing the job dissatisfaction or unhappiness. And sometimes it can be things that are happening in your life that is causing you to be unhappy. And when you show up on the job, it spills over in the job. So have that reflection on life. Figure out if there are things that are happening in your life that is feeding into your job. Because a lot of times we take our personal situations to the job, and it's not the job. As I say, it can be us. So it's always good to have that one-on-one with yourself, do some self-reflection, and figure out where the root of the problem is. Pinpoint where the trouble and the issue lies, you know, and learn to communicate. A lot of times we are unhappy or dissatisfied because we don't communicate effectively. We are just internalizing the problem and we're not talking about it. And we just expect people to know that this is what is causing me to be unhappy. So if you need to talk to your supervisor or manager and say, hey, I don't feel accomplished when I work in this role, but when you give me this to do, it makes me feel as if, I am happy and I am working towards a goal and I feel fulfilled. So is it possible for you to put me in this role? Have that conversation. Don't just expect that, oh, well, my manager know I do good when I'm doing this. So why is my manager putting me in this area to work? And as you do your training, as you get your qualifications, upgrade your resume and send your resume out to employers that are, are in the field that you're looking to get into. So put yourself out there. Don't just jump up and leave your job. That's something you don't want to do. It's always wise to have a plan before you leave your job. Sometimes people, I get it, are not able to deal with things and they feel like today is the day I'm going to leave this job. I've had enough. They may blow up because everybody is different. And when your emotions are running high and you've been experiencing the same thing over and over at the job, I get it. You may feel as if like, I'm just going to quit. However, think about a long-term plan. So if you are feeling dissatisfied and you've identified that, start working on your plan immediately and think about what it is that you want to do and start sending your resume out to employers that you would want to work for. Have a plan and stick to that plan. And don't just separate yourself from your family or the people that are in your life that love you. Reach out to them. Express how you're feeling. It's always good to talk about it. So, yeah, this topic, I really wanted to touch on this topic because I've been seeing it pop up a lot where a lot of people have been expressing how they are just so unhappy. They are tired of working a 9 to 5. Some people may feel as if, they'll be able to start their own business, but they don't have the finances to start their own business. So they're doing this job until they could get there, and the frustration of that. I've been seeing those conversations, and the feeling is real. It's really hard to go to a job knowing that you're not happy, and knowing that you can be doing what you love, what you want to do. This job is now a step or a foundation to get into that plan. It's really hard. Sometimes it's necessary for us to look at the bigger picture and have our timeline. If I want to have my own business, how long am I going to put in time on another person's job? And when is my exit plan? What's the time frame for that? I think when you put those things into perspective and you have the goal written down, it gives you purpose. Because yes, you may be feeling overwhelmed and feeling unhappy in the moment, but when you think about the goal the bigger picture and the bigger goal that you're trying to achieve, and you're making your steps and your notes every day, I feel like you will be able to cope as opposed to just blowing up and, walking off the job. I get it. It's not easy. Especially if you work in customer service, it is not easy. A lot of people who work in customer service will tell you there are days they feel as if like clients or customers are trying them, because people say the craziest things, and we live in a world where people are mean, and sometimes they are angry or unhappy, and they take, they pass that negativity on to you. Because I was watching this video recently with this cashier, and she's checking through the items, and each time she's checking through the item, the lady that whose grocery she was dealing with, she was just making all these comments. Did you bag this correct? Did you do this? Did you do that? Don't put the soap with the food. Don't. And that young lady got so frustrated, she like destroyed everything that was all the groceries that was in front of her. And it's a relatable experience, because we've all have that day where, you know, you're dealing with a client, a customer, or a guest, and this person is just so negative, so nasty, so mean, and that could throw off your entire day, just that bad exchange or interaction. I know there was a time when I was working in the bank. This guy, it was like my first week, as a bank teller. And this guy, he came in, and, I said, can I help you, please? That's something that we were trained to say. And he asked me to do like 3 different things. Now, if you've worked in the bank before and you're doing a wire transfer, a wire transfer is not something that just at the snap of a finger is done. There are processes. You need a routing number for each bank and address and all those different things. And this guy, he wanted a withdrawal. He also wanted me to do was it a cash advance? It was something else. I can't remember now. But for him, I was not moving fast enough. And so he was like, you are behaving like you don't know what to do. And then my supervisor was standing next to me to just, because it was my first week, to make sure that I was doing the transactions correctly. So I believe that triggered him as well, because like, why is she standing there next to me? Maybe it means that I don't know what I'm doing. So I may mess up his transaction. I think maybe that was his mindset. And so he was like, you don't know what you're doing. When I was asking him questions, he was like, why are you asking me this? Why are you repeating? Shouldn't you know this? And I was like, oh my gosh, I am hoping this is not the day. But it was. It was. And that guy spazzed out on me. When I mean he spazzed out on me, he began to curse. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're doing. People like you should be in the back. And that day I was like, this is not for me. Like, is this really happening? And should I be working at the bank? I started second guessing myself. I've done business, as my career path. I did the business subject, and my degree was in management studies. So, I thought that was what I was doing. And then all of a sudden, in that one moment, in that one exchange, and I believe a lot of people have experiences, and this has led to some of the reasons why people feel, unsatisfied at their job. Because sometimes the exchange that you have to go through, and when you're not getting paid enough to deal with nasty customers, it makes it even worse. So that day I was second guessing myself, like, am I smart? I mean, I had 9 CXC subjects. If you're from the Caribbean, you know what I mean. That's like a big accomplishment for somebody out of high school. So I was just second guessing myself, am I really good at this? Am I going to be good at this? I went in the bathroom and I bawled my eyes out. Like, I really cried. I cried so much. And I was so afraid to go back out there and face that guy, because I started to, it's just funny how the brain works, and how somebody could spill negativity, and once that's on your brain, you can actually start believing those things about yourself when you know those things are not true. So I was so afraid, and then my supervisor came and she was like, you have to come and finish the transaction. I went out there, I finished the transaction, and like, my manager saw me breaking down, and she asked me about it, and I told her, and she was a great manager. She spoke to the guy and said, I really didn't appreciate you dealing with the teller like that. It's her first week. She's good at what she does. Everybody goes with their supervisor during the first week. And so it was uncalled for. And then he started to talk about how he had a bad day. And, I was just the straw that broke the camel's back in his day, basically. So everything was going bad. And then when he came to the bank and I was asking him questions, it just infuriated him. Because he was done frustrated. So that is possible. A lot of times, like, it's not personal and it's not about you. That's one thing I've learned in the service industry. A lot of times, blow-ups that people experience, it's not about you. And you can't take things personal, because yes, it's bad that the person blew up on you, but it could be what they're going through in their life. And that has nothing to do with you. You was just like the straw that broke the camel's back, that made them spaz out or go crazy. So yeah, working in the service industry is hard, but that's something I've learned. That's something I've taken with me throughout life. Don't take things personal, because things that people are going through has nothing to do with you. When you see them react in a certain way, it has nothing to do with you. It's about that person and what they are experiencing. So don't take offense to, you know, a person carrying on the worst with you are being nasty, because it could very be that person had a bad upbringing or that person had a bad day. And so, yeah, a lot of times people are just like not happy based on they're not getting enough money. They have bad experiences with customers. You know, they are not being challenged, or they are not getting promoted. They've been putting in the work a number of years. They've been working with a company for a number of years. They haven't received any promotion. They haven't received any incentive, maybe a reward or a plaque of appreciation. Those are things that, you know, makes a difference. And you'll be surprised the things that people leave their job for. You know, they were not happy with their boss. They maybe had a transition change with management, and new management is just doesn't look out for the workers. They don't plan special outings or activities. They're just about work, and there's no appreciation, no motivation. And so a person may feel like, I need to leave this job because it's not fulfilling anymore. So it could be due to management change. It could be due to how they're being treated on the job. It could be due to money. It could be, you know, realizing that this is not the career I want to take, and I want to change. I want to transition to doing something else. A lot of people I've read, I can't remember the book, but in the book it said like a lot of people, when they are in their 50s preparing for that next part of their life, realize that what they did previously was not what they wanted to do. And so their retirement job is basically the job that they wanted to do in the first place. I remember in the book, the book had stories of people, their work experiences, and one of the stories I remember, this lady, she was a big CEO, her big time job of making millions, to go and travel and record her experiences. That's what she wanted to do. That's what made her feel fulfilled. This other lady, she went into gardening. And once she was doing what she loved, she was making the money. She was working this 9 to 5, you know, barely making it, only had enough money from her retirement, and getting paid by her pension. It wasn't enough. And she went into what she really loved, which was gardening. And she started to make money, and the business became profitable. And she was able to accomplish what she wanted to accomplish in her younger years. She was able to accomplish that in the age where she was older. So I also want to say working long hours plays a part into people being unhappy with their jobs or dissatisfied. Because when you work long hours, you are tired, you're not able to spend as much time with your family or doing the things that you love. Working without days off as well can make you unsatisfied, because you don't have any time for yourself. And so, working in the hospitality industry, I've had this experience. And if you are doing something that does not make you happy, then when things like these arise, it's really going to make you frustrated and want to leave the job. But because I was doing what I love, working long hours, putting in overtime, not having days off, really didn't faze me, because it's something that I love. It's an industry that I love to work in. But I am different. For some people, these are like the factors that has made them reconsider working at their job. You know, I've had friends where, they had to travel for work, and the traveling back and forth, the long distance, the hours that they would have to drive to go to the job. By the time they reach at the job, they're already miserable and unhappy. And then anything that happens on the job or during the day makes them feel frustrated. So, those long hours, those, traveling to, to get to work. And with COVID, what a lot of people realize is that they can go into something that they love, spend less time, and make more money than when they would have been working a 9 to 5. Because when you think about it, those guys that are plumbers or who have special skills like baking, they can get a job for an hour and make more money in a day than what they would get working at a 9 to 5. And so COVID was a big eye opener again, I said, for a lot of people. People are now realizing that they can go into jobs that they love and they can make more money and they can spend less time doing it and then have enough time for their family. A lot of people do social media, and social media, once you dedicate the days that you're going to do it and you have your videos upload, you can basically take your vacations when you want. You can take your day off when you want. You have more flexibility and more control over your life. And when I talk about control, what comes to mind is that a lot of people want to have that control and that power to be able to decide when they work and when they take their vacation. So a lot of people are unsatisfied because they're working for somebody and that person decides when they can take vacation, when they have to show up to work, when they take their time off, when they have to commit to certain tasks. And when you have that power, if you decide, well, I'm not going to do this job, then you don't have to, you know? So again, there are so many factors why people are just unsatisfied in their job. But the root of it is doing what does not make you happy. Just start from there. A lot of people are in jobs, are doing things that don't make them happy. And so because they don't have that fulfillment, there's no, drive to work. And there's no drive to want to stay in that job. So guys, this was a fun topic. The next step is to get out. Thanks for listening. Again, share your stories with me. Are you in a job you're not satisfied with? Have you ever worked somewhere you were not satisfied and you had to leave? You can email me or you can leave your comments in the comments below. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, to like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.